What's up, Robyn?
Hey, Hillary, how are you?
I'm good. This is really exciting because I today am in Charleston, South Carolina, and where in the world are you?
I am in Pescara, Italy, which is on the east coast of Italy on the Adriatic Sea.
I mean, it doesn't get any sexier than that.
Thank you.
You're really blowing us away today with location because I think, no matter where the rest of us are watching it, we're probably not in Italy. So I think right now we're all starting to dream up of pizzas and pastas and gelato and wine.
Well, if anyone is in Italy right now, give me a shout out and then we can meet up.
Perfect. Okay, so we are here to do a very quick introduction before we really dig into this month's theme. And let's talk about the theme first, because when we asked the tribe what they felt like they needed help with, one of the things they said overwhelming was, we're still facing some type of fear around our business. We want to be able to overcome fear. We want to be able to overcome failure. We want to break through the BS, but we know we're still carrying some of that stuff with us. And so this month is all about breaking through fear, busting through those little things that are holding you back, and really using that power, using some techniques to move beyond, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's so important because you said busting through fear. I think we're constantly busting through fear our whole life because once you accomplish something, then you got to set that next one. So I love this.
100%. And I think what Robyn and I were talking about before, well, actually, before we even go any further, let's introduce you because I want everybody to get a sense for who you are before we really dig into this topic of fear and why you're the person that I chose to do this. So Robyn, in your own words, tell us who you are, what it is that you do.
Hi, Hatch Tribe. My name is Robyn Woodman, and I am a personal growth coach that works with women. And what I focus on is helping women live the life that they want to live unapologetically, whatever that looks like. If it's a business, if it's your geographical location, if it's a relationship that you want to change in some way, whatever it is, rather than settling for it's okay, it's good enough. It's not. It's your life.
Yeah. I mean, if we only get one, we might as well do it right.
Might as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, Robyn and I actually met when she was living in Charleston before she left and moved to Italy. And we got onto this conversation around fear and we went deep real fast. And we were like, there's something to do here. There's something we can teach here. And that is really our mission this month, is to unpack fear, talk about how it's showing up in businesses, in entrepreneurs, in me, in you, right? And then provide you with techniques that you can actually use to break through fear when it's showing up, because it shows up and it shows up in a lot of different ways, right? So let's talk about a couple of them, because you might be sitting here thinking, I don't know, I'm not really afraid of anything. Are you? I don't know. So let's talk through some ways that fear actually shows up, especially inside businesses. Okay, one that I particularly like is, what if someone finds out who I actually am?
Oh, I love this so much. Imposter syndrome. Yeah. Imposter syndrome. And the thing with fear is we can't take it as like a textbook definition. We're not 10 years old, scared of the haunted house at the end of the street. This is our life, and it comes out in so many different ways. And I'm sure that in your work too, imposter syndrome is huge. It's a huge thing that, we all deal with. And that is definitely a form of fear.
Absolutely. There's another one that I see often, which is that tendency to not want to set a goal either. So it's like, I don't really want to put my stake in the ground to say that this is exactly what I'm pursuing. And I think that sometimes it goes both ways. It's like, on one hand, it's procrastination or fear maybe of even choosing the wrong goal. On the other hand, I think sometimes it's like, we're actually afraid we might not achieve it, and we're not sure we want to put it out there.
Oh, totally. And this is one of my ways that fear shows up in my life. And so I have some great tips and techniques on how to get past this that I have to do to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is hot on my list too.
I
So
love it.
I'm glad that you brought that one up for sure.
Cool. Another one is I don't want to appear arrogant. And I feel like this is one that women experience more dramatically than our male counterparts. It's just the idea that we don't want to come across as boastful or bragging or being an ass, right?
Mm-hmm. I was at last week for International Women's Day. I was at a gathering up by Amsterdam. And one of the things that got brought up, and I was reminded of this, is men frequently are overconfident about something and women are underconfident about the same things. Shocking.
Isn't that so true? What about the fear of asking for help? Do you see that show up with your clients?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I ask for help, then they're going to know I don't know. And then that leads back to them to the imposter syndrome. And then that just circles around. And so all the time, and rather just saying, I don't know about that very much. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah. It's funny. That is one that I have struggled with greatly in my life. I'm an only child with no first cousins. I grew up fiercely independent. And I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to say, like, my response to everything automatically was like, I know. And he's just like, oh, you just know everything, don't you? Oh, wow.
Oh,
No, like I don't at all, but it took a long time to really break that and to learn that asking
right.
for help was truly a sign of strength. But I have had tons of fear wrapped up around that one piece alone.
Totally. And so you see like little Hillary coming forward and big girl Hillary.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, asking for help, pro. Here's another one. Being afraid to say no. And boy, this is coming up all the time with entrepreneurs. We're taking on new projects, clients that don't feel like they're the right fit, little favors that they're not being compensated for.
I'm with you on this. A couple of weeks ago, I had a plate that was way too full and I recognized it and just cut it down. It down. And so even if you get yourself into a situation where you said yes too many times, you always can change your mind.
Yes. Really good insight. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot more about that for sure. Let's talk about a couple of other ones. Afraid of public speaking. I think a lot of people feel that way, but your job might not have you on the stage necessarily. But I think the way we experience it then is being in a room where we actually do have to speak and other people are listening, no matter the size of the audience, right?
Right. And all eyes are on you and they're waiting to hear what you have to say. And the next one I wanted to make sure I don't miss, because this is super important. I hear about this all the time, is we're afraid to ask for what we want.
Oh God, isn't that the truth?
Contract negotiation, normal conversations in your business, within your life, with your friends, whatever it is. And then you'll give like a version of it that's maybe 15% of it, 20, whatever. Maybe you're really good. You get to 80%, but you're still not asking for what you want. No.
Yeah. And I think you can always feel that, like, when it's not totally aligned, but you're doing it anyway. And so like, why are you doing that anyway? Learn more about that. Another one is like that fear of looking stupid or worrying about what other people think. And I think that at any given moment, any one of us can feel that way, right? I mean, when you're in a crowd of people that you don't really know, of course you have that tendency to be like, oh God, what are they thinking of me right now?
Right.
It's so common.
It is. It's so common that actually the person next to you is thinking the same thing about themselves. That's the thing, right? Because it is so common. Likely if you turn to the woman next to you and say, and you have just like said, oh, I'm really not sure about that. I'm not, or, really sure. She'd be like, oh, me too. Or, oh, I know about it. Let me tell you. Who knows?
Yeah, really good point. It's so common. And yeah, chances are the other person next to you is feeling it too. Let's talk about one more. And this is one that I thought was kind of funny, but it's the idea that you feel like you cannot step away from your business, that you are so intrinsic to it that you have to be there plugged in 24/7. And that feeling is steeped in fear, 100%.
100%. You're operating your business at such a micro level.
Yeah.
That if you step away, I went to Amsterdam last week for this international women's gathering, as I said, and
Yeah.
I had the conversation with the client and I said, oh, I'm going to be there next week. And she said to me, I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam and I've never been. And I said, you really need to think about what is holding you back from that. And I said, is it a plane ticket? Is it this? Is it that? Look it up right now. How much is it? How much is it? And then she was like, oh, I guess it's not that much. Or, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because oftentimes it's like we can give an excuse, but that excuse is not really it. There's something else that lies beneath, and you know it, and I know it, and we know it in here. And that's a lot of what we're going to unearth over the course of this month.
I love it. I'm so excited.
Ooh, me too. Okay, so before we wrap up today's little introduction, there's one piece that you and I have talked about, which is kind of creating some groundwork around how we want those of you who are watching and listening to this right now to think about what comes next. So, Robyn, what is the take action homework for everybody watching today?
I want you to consider what it is in your business right now that you are having fear around. And maybe your first reaction is to say, I don't know, but the truth is you do know. It's that thing that when you're laying in bed at night and you're trying to go to sleep and your whole day is flashing, you're like, oh, and I still didn't do this, or, oh, I don't want to think about that. Whatever it is, that thing that kind of like when you don't ask for what you want and you step away and you have that gut feeling, that is it.
Yeah.
So we need you to think about that so that we can do some work on it.
Perfect. Okay. So you know what your homework is, you know what you need to do, and we're going to be back next week with a lesson where we start to unpack fear and techniques to deal with fear that are actionable. You can use them immediately and you can literally put this stuff in play and change your experience. Right?
Perfect. Love it.
Okay. Well, that's it for today. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in about a week.
All right. Bye.